Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is NoDust here, and we are going to conclude, well, hopefully not conclude, but continue our Rogue Arena run. Run 1 of December 2015. This is part 2, and as you can see here, we are at 1-2. Not looking great. Hopefully we get a couple of wins. But you know, no big deal. We win. You win some, you lose some. And just going to review some notes that I took last time. With so much early game in my deck, as you can see here, I've got about 5 1-drops. I'm going to want to mulligan into either card draw or impactful mid and late game. In the form that it takes here in this deck will be anything with card draw, such as the Jeweled Scarab, whatever. What else? I've got an Acolyte. The Acolyte's going to be half decent, and I think there's a Burgle here somewhere. I don't remember. And in terms of impactful mid and late game, things with Taunt, Senjin, and Evil Heckler will be really useful. Oh, that's right, Cult Master will be really useful also. And anything like a Stranglethorn, possibly even Argent Commander, definitely something like a Ragnaros, maybe even a Mountain Giant to be kept in the early hand. Anyway, let's get into game and see how we go. See if I can dig myself out of this 1-2 rut that I've gotten us into. Let's go. Okay, now to put the money where my mouth is. I think actually that it's worth keeping Skulker, Horse Rider, and Deadly, just given how fast this deck can be. Yeah, and the Skulker is a huge turnaround card. If I fall behind, it's a 5-mana Consecrate, but I get a 4/3 minion, so it's huge. Let's go. Let's try this. Yeah, let's put our new mulligan rules, not rules, let's put my mulligan observations to the test. Okay, you have a dragon, and if I play this, I'll get pinged. Do I want you to ping turn 2? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let me note down as also game 1. Mage. Once again, I noted last time that pit snakes are not great in Arena, although they look really cool to have and so on and so forth. The thing is, there are a number of classes in Arena that can deal 1 damage, such as Mage, such as Rogue, such as Druid, sometimes Pally, and it really isn't all that impressive. What do I want to do? I think a Deadly. Then I coin out the Argent, and I'm not going to hit the Dragon Egg. I'm going to go face. Now the reason I do that is if I hit the Dragon Egg, it summons a 2/1 Whelp, which means that my opponent can clear the Whelp clear the Horse Rider using the Whelp and the ping. Now he has to use this. And not so lucky, which means I get to do Wicked Knife clearing this thing as well. That's not too bad. Excellent.
Here we go.
Excellent indeed. Now, given that my opponent has committed to... The question here is do I Buccaneer Weapon Up, or do I Weapon Up Auto Barber? I think I Weapon Up Auto Barber and I save Buccaneer Assassins later. Yeah. There is a neat ping on my Horse Rider here, but that's okay. The Horse Rider is drawn 2 pings in two rounds. It's a very neat for me to have this happen. Horse Rider has actually drawn plenty of attention for me. Okay, is it worth a Senjin? Interesting. I think I dropped the Dark Iron. I think I developed the Dark Iron. Allows me to clear. It's slightly expensive for me to clear these 2, but it puts me in a position where I have a Dark Iron on the board, and we're sort of asking for a Fireball or a Frostbolt. The other answer would have been to play Senjin. I don't know, but I'm not a huge fan of going straight Senjin. Pardon me. Now I can leave this up for a turn, I feel, because this is not guaranteed to have a number of mechs in hand. Mech Warper in Arena is very different from Mech Warper outside of Arena. So having said that, do I want to draw a card using Jeweled Scarab? Well, I can clear it using Buccaneer. I can clear it, but my turn will be a little awkward. It'll be Assassin's Blade, Buccaneer, and plus I'll be wasting the Wicked Knife Charge. So I think this is correct. I'm going to hedge for some later game. Unearthed Raptor. There's nothing that I'm going to be stealing. There's nothing that I'm going to be stealing Death Rattles from. Let me just look quickly at the deck. We don't have any impactful Death Rattles, or any Death Rattles at all. I can't really see it just from a glance. This thing is weak to Flame Strike. This thing baits out the Flame Strike. Let's take the Shade. And let's swing at the face. Yeah. That was a complex turn there. I don't know. It was a toss-up between the Imp Master and the Shade. Toss-up. Let's see how we go. I mean, the Shade, if I let it grow, can be very scary. This is fine, actually. And I think I go Buccaneer, Assassin's Blade. I'll be overkilling this Mech Warper a little bit, but the ability to develop a 4-3 weapon. This may very well get Flame Struck, but it's going to cost you almost your entire turn, so that's okay, because I come out of the Flame Strike turn with a 4-3 weapon. And that's 12 damage. I can start dealing 12 damage to your face. Failing that, you know... Failing that, don't know. Now, I'm sensing no Flame Strike. Should I play around the assumption that there's no Flame Strike? Yeah, let's do it. And I'm also sensing no MCT, since given that... now I'm just trying to figure out what the best positioning for Cone of Cold is. I think this is correct. Since if you Cone of Cold, if you do have a Cone of Cold, you can only Cone of Cold things on the side, thereby meaning one of the stealth minions avoids the Cone of Cold effect. I think that's correct. I didn't want to play it on the other side because the Cone of Cold would then hit 2 stealth minions. Okay, that's the Kraken, that's fine. Means you can't ping, which means I can use Betrayal to take down your Kraken. Yeah. Still fine. Yeah. I'm still going to use Betrayal to take down your Kraken. Hold on. How much damage do I have? 8 to 12. Yeah, not quite enough. That's fine. I will protect the board. And I definitely don't want to take 9 damage to my face. And I'll push out with the Lights Champ. We are weak again to Flame Strike Ping. This will clear my board, but again, I have 4 damage in hand. I could do it. We're in an okay position. Once again, it's not surprising that we've run out of cards. But I don't know, was it correct to keep the Skulker? I don't know. I don't know whether it was correct to keep the Skulker. Because a Mage versus classes like Mage, less likely to be overrun. I think Skulker would have definitely been correct against classes like... much against Mage. Less keeping of Skulkers versus Mage. Next time we won, but we didn't win. Like, I don't feel comfortable with that win. Okay, so let's add a 2-2 to our record. Now we're slowly coming back. Let's go next game. Wow, no shortage of mages today. I think I will keep the Tiger. I could even keep the Giant. We'll see, with 4 cards in hand, I'm going to gain 5 cards in hand. It's going to become 7. I don't have any direct card draw, so it's not going to become any cheaper. Okay, let's throw these 2 back. This is our mid and late game. So we have mid and late game in hand. We're going to rely on the deck giving us quality early mid and mid game. And so far, so good. I think I can't hold cards for the Giant at this point. Coin Tide Hunter is fine here. I get to weapon up next turn to protect whatever Murloc is left over. It's not too bad. So another question, worth keeping Mountain Giant in opening? I guess this is when we find out. Okay, this is fine. I'm not going to swing, I'm going to hold. Asking you to, hopefully you ping again to slow yourself down even more. Again, although I could have swung in the off chance that I don't pick up a 3-drop. Now this scenario means that I do sort of pick up a 3. The PWS, not so useful. I think I do need to cycle though. PWS, this is tough. I've got strong 4, 5, and 6 players. If I cycle, I'm going to be looking for a 1 or a 2 drop. Let's do it. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Excellent. Probably should have thought about the Cold Blood on the Murloc Scout to clear the Spell Swinger. But then again, it's so... I probably should have done Cold Blood, Murloc Scout, and then gone to the face to deal 5 damage. Thereby forcing the trade. Yeah, that was really poor from me. That was a poor turn. But we are okay now with the Heckler. Yeah, so another note is Cold Blood usage. Heavily consider using CB for face damage, thus asking for trades for opponent to trade. Okay, this is going to be a little annoying, but I think it's more correct to play the Stranglethorn. I'm going to ask my opponent, I don't know, him or her, ask my opponent to develop one more thing so that I can get some value from the Betrayal. There we go. That's going to be quite useful. Okay, that's fine. I can eat the damage. I think I do the Betrayal now. Go bang bang. I don't want the Anubisath to buff the Scarlet Crusader, however. So let's actually look for something else that I can betray. I mean, it could very well buff the Scarlet Crusader, but it's... that was a tough turn. Also, I shouldn't forget that we have Cold Blood. I can use Cold Blood to activate. So you're gonna buff the Scar Crew? No, you're not. Okay. Interesting. You're gonna go for value. Interesting. That's actually really interesting. Bang bang. It's tough. I think I play the empty War Golem.
Here we go.
And I clear. That's the thing with Betrayal, it's such an awkward card to play sometimes. I don't know, like definitely never I definitely never draft 2 of. But this situation is not too bad actually, because either way, if he trades first, okay, so he's going to spend that. That's fine. Which one's got a buff? 7/7. Okay. I can double clear, but what is my answer to? Okay, this plus this is almost enough. I think I'm going to have to do it. Betrayal goes 2 for 1, and I take 7 damage to face. And probably should have Jilt's Garab first, just in case it changed anything. Yeah. I don't think it really does. Scarlet Crusader is a little slow. Petitions, I think I'd take for flexibility. Yeah, since I already have, I've got a fairly minion heavy hand at the moment. Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it out of this one. I think we might be going 2-3, but let's see how we go. Yeah, the Conjurer could give you anything. A Fireball will end me. Although we do have a pretty neat clear of the Conjurer, given that one of the pings will be directed to the Argent Horse Rider. Yeah, that Anubisath worked out really well, actually. Anubisath, not as bad as previously thought. Yeah, Anubisath, I might draft one next time. Consider drafting one next time. It gave me a ton of trouble. Okay, this is fine. So let's, actually I can do this. And it's a little awkward now, actually. Let's play the Heckler. I'm gonna start swinging. We need to catch up on the health. I'm very much dead to any combination of spells, but I gotta try. Gotta go for it. I can't. The thing is, the reason I'm swinging now is my health is so low that I can't afford to use my health as a resource. So I might as well use this as like a pseudo hunter hero power. Yeah. So the Conjurers are gonna give me a bit of trouble. If you manage to pick up any sort of burn, then I am done. Now I'm going to have to swing at that. I am going to have to swing at that. I can't take the 6, but I am going to have to take the 2, because ping on that makes it deal 5 damage next turn. I possibly could have gone past. Yeah, possibly worth considering going past. Now I'm going to have to hedge on my opponent not having Flame Strike. Pretty tough when it comes to mages, but sometimes you're just going to have to. Yeah, so more on that Anubisath, the Anubisath, good when you have a fair amount of early mid game, e.g. like this deck. Yeah, the Anubisath would have actually been a really good mid late game sort of thing. We can deal with that. Okay. Unless you're just trolling me if you've got like a Frostbolt in your hand. What would be excellent though is we could picked up the Cult Master right now. I'd be able to refill my hand. I don't think we have any healing mechanics. We do have a Rag in there, and we do have a Senjin to allow us to be a little defensive. But yeah, the quality of this deck, I don't know. I drafted a poor deck. It all comes down to me. Polyball. Okay. Sure. What are you doing? Come on. Abusive works here. Allows me to protect. I mean, that's the thing. Abusive is a good card, but not a card you want to be top decking. It's just the difference between Abusive there and some sort of card draw, something like a Cult Master, so that I could have drawn into the Abusive, or something like a Sprint. A Sprint in this deck would have been excellent. Just with so many 1-drops, you need more mid-game, late-game draw. If you don't have more mid-game, late-game, you need more mid-game, late-game draw. So we're 2-3. Not great, not a great start, honestly, but that's fine. And I was thinking about what we might do if this was the case. And what I will do, actually, is... So our game 2 is done. Now, game 3... What I'm going to do, actually, game 3 and game 4... I'm not going to put any spoilers in the show notes. I'll just make up classes. Let's say Hunter and Rogue. Yeah? We know that these are fake games. If you're watching this, you know these are faked games. What I'm actually doing is I'm going to review my arena draft and point out where I could have drafted better / differently. Yeah, so I don't want to give away that we go 2-2. Obviously, it's not so exciting that we go 2-2, but this is a good chance. Well, not 2-2. Sorry, 2-3. This is a good chance for us to have a look. Good chance for me to look at how I drafted and how I could have approached the draft differently to give myself some more give myself a slightly better outcome. Yeah, nothing Nothing that I need. And just to let you guys know, this is on my primary account. Lower rank than my NoDust budget rogue account. But as you can see here, you know, we've got a lot more arena wins, got a lot more play mode wins. I've been focusing less on this account. I've just been climbing and earning gold on this account for LOE. So now that it's done, like I said, let's do some disenchanting. See what's new. Fast dispel and then bash. Not that interesting. Okay. So let me queue things up. So I'm going to take a couple minutes. So I'm going to disappear into the YouTube Vortex and queue up the clip from the last video of me drafting the arena, and then let's talk about that. Yeah, be right back. Okay, I think I've got everything set up and ready to go. We are paused at the start of my draft phase in the... Okay, no longer paused. How do I pause this thing? Let me pause. Okay. We are paused at the start of my draft phase. And so this is going to be part 5 draft review. And we're going to go through one by one. I'm not gonna put my voice. I'm not gonna put the commentary on. But let's watch me go through this, and let's see my thought processes, and let's review how we did based on how we drafted. Yeah. Okay. So let me bring the. Let's play. Okay. So I think here, Teacher is fine. I think Ogre is actually worth a serious consider, but I think Teacher is fine. So Teacher, correct. I think here actually, if I were given this choice again, I would pick Frostwolf Grunt. Cold Blood really didn't do much work for me in this deck. Cold Blood really needs more Divine Shield setup, or possibly Charge to set it up, if in a more aggressive deck. Really, like I explained before, Cold Blood being so... you need a minion to get it to work. I think the War Golem here was correct. Everything else is too slow and a little too unreliable. Now, here is... I think the first Pit Snake is still okay, although if I were given this opportunity again, I would take the Deadly Poison. So now that I'm reevaluating Deadly over Pit Snake. Yeah, the Pit Snake is not great, simply given how many of those classes you run into that can deal 1 damage. The Lights Champion is fine here. Injured Blade Master is worth consider if I had anything like with a heal, but Lights Champion makes me a little bit stronger against Warlocks, none of whom we ran into, but that's fine. Okay, let's do this. Yep. Yeah, so I think that pickup was fine. I'm just going to set up sorry, this is the first time I've done this, and I need to figure out some things about how to play and pause and so on and so forth. There we go. Okay, let's do this. I'm just going to have to do this in a ghetto way. Okay, here I think Gilman Stalker definitely would have been more correct. I overvalued. So the mistake of this draft was overvaluing Pit Snake. Stalker much more useful, especially with a Cold Blood. Yeah, so the second Pit Snake definitely would not have picked it up. Now the third Pit Snake, I think. Again, here, if given this... Now, let me pause that. Let me run back a bit. Whoops. Sorry for the ghetto nature of how this is all going. So here, this is okay. And immediately after this, I'm going to pick a Pit Snake. I'm going to pick picks. That's a hard word to say. I'm going to pick... Snake number 3. I'll take the pit out of it and make it sound a little bit better. Here we go. This one. Really, this does show that I over-evaluated the Pit Snake. Here, I definitely would have taken the Knight. 5 for a 5/5 is fine. It's not great, but it represents late game. In this draft, I skipped too much late game to follow the Pit Snake dream, And that's really, I think, being stupid enough to follow the Pit Snake Dream is why we're 2-3, honestly. If some of those had not been Pit Snakes, some of those had been, like I said, Gilban Stalkers, Clockwork Knights. Even with the Cold Blood, I could have been able to set up the Cold Blood. I think we would have gone at least maybe 3-3, maybe even 4-3. But, you know, it's not useful to hypothesize. It's more useful to learn from your mistakes and try better next time. So let's go. So I definitely would have picked differently here also. So yeah, we already have 3 Pit Snakes. That's ridiculous. Auto Barber is fine. I think I might have... Yeah, Auto Barber is fine. Here, actually, given this choice, Anubisath versus... I think now that I've played against Anubisath and just seen how annoying it is, Anubisath is not a bad late game drop, given if you have a lot of early game. It's like it's not so different from, say, a Frostwolf Warlord or say a something with Inspire. I think it's a good late game finisher if you have a number of early game drops. Of course, you're quite weak against Flame Strike if everything gets Flame Struck at the same time, so that's one of the weaknesses, but it gives you more on the board if you're able to avoid that situation. So I think in this situation, I might have taken the Anubisath, or I might have taken the Assassins. The Assassins is good with the Auto Barber, so it's a toss-up here. I think it'd still be a tough choice. Also, the Valiant is not bad, but I got so many 1-drops that I don't think I really wanted the Valiant. Yeah, but next time I definitely will value the Anubisath a little higher, because just that one game where it was really annoying for me to deal with, and really the value from that Anubisath on my opponent, my opponent getting the value from that Anubisath was really powerful. So interesting choices there. Assassin's Blade does, of course, slow my deck down. So it's both choices. I don't think neither of the choices are wrong. Here, I think Mountain Giant is still correct. It's still, you know, my sort of desperately picking late game, given that I picked up 3 Pit Snakes. I think I realized that I needed late game. And it's not so much that you need late game when you pick up 3 Pit Snakes by 9 cards in. That's way too many. That's way too many. See, that's another mistake that I made. Murloc Tidehunter is fairly straightforward, not too big deal. Picking up 3 1-drops before, so there's another big problem, equals picking more than 1 drop before 10 cards into the draft. That was a big problem. And a lot of that stemmed from me overvaluing the Pit Snake, which I will not do in future, you know? So I think it's worthwhile to capture these games where we don't do so well, because then next time you realize, okay, I'll take 1 Pit Snake maybe, and then pick some more mid-game. Anyway, that's how Arena works. You need to take the time to play. You need to realize what works and what doesn't. And Pit Snake obviously doesn't work. Tiger here is fine. I'm fine with the Tiger pick here, but I think the damage has already been done with the 3 Pit Snakes, and we haven't run into that turn where we get 3 of a kind 1-drops. The Scarab also is fine. Scarab wasn't too bad this game. You know, managed to give me some options. I'm pretty happy with Scarab. Discover cards, I think, generally are pretty good in Arena, although you may run the risk of getting tempoed out. Cult Master, again, is great, given that I have 3 Pit Snakes. So, that's fine. What am I talking about? Yes, I was just talking about the synergy with the Pit Snakes and the Murloc Tidehunters. And here we are. Here is the killer turn. You're 15 cards in. This is what they should do, one of those silly Hearthstone promotional ads. You're 15 cards into your draft, and you get presented 3 1-drops, and you already have 4 1-drops. And I think I correctly picked the Abusive, but like I said, the damage has already been done. You've got 3 Pit Snakes before turn 10 of the draft. It's just ridiculous. Like, you know, it's all on my shoulders. I take it all. Harvest is fine here. Assassin's Blade, it might have been worth considering a second, but not really. And the Rag, we didn't even get to play the Rag, but still cool to have a Rag in your deck. Did I drop it even once? I might have dropped it like once. Heckler is great, so I think the second half of this draft was okay, but again, like I said, damage has been done. You got 4 1-drops. It's really tough. I really needed to look for card draws here. Twilight is correct. Although I might have picked Auctioneer, but I don't really have any cards that allow the Auctioneer to draw. Yeah, and here again, I think I take the Heckler, which is I feel is correct because I don't want any more 1-drops, and my number of 1-drops sort of supplements the fact that I don't need as many 2-drops. So the Heckler number 2 is fine. Yes. I know Blood Sail has potential to gain value, but Heckler is correct. I think the first deadly is fine, although Flame Juggler is better than I initially made it out to be, because Flame Juggler, that random that stray ping does a lot of work. I think I would have been happy with either. In the future, if I get presented with this, I'd be happy with either Deadly Poison or Flame Juggler. I could also pick the Direwolf Alpha, just to give my Pit Snakes some reach, but the Pit Snakes don't need reach. If the Pit Snakes stay alive to hit something, they don't need reach. Senjin is excellent here. Yeah, and the Gang Up doesn't really do anything for me. It doesn't increase the size. The Gang Up increases the size of my deck rather than the size of my hand, and that's, I don't know, man. That sounded sort of wrong. Sorry about that. But the Senjin is fine, but I would have much preferred that to be a Burgle or something as opposed to a Gang Up. Argent Commander is excellent. I think I still would have picked the Betrayal here. It did okay work for us that game, but a really awkward card. It can still be good to get a 2-for-1 with Betrayal, but it's hard to set up. Yeah, it's just a problematic card. And here, Horse Rider or Flame Juggler. I think Horse Rider is correct, just to slow me down even more. Yeah, Horse Rider is correct here. But like I said, the 4 1-drops, man. The 4 1-drops plus a Cold Blood. The Ringleader or the Voldia Raider. I think at this point I should have picked the Voldia Raider, given how much early game I had. Although the Ringleader is not always incorrect, since if you can combo it out, it's a fair amount of stats. It's quite tempo heavy. And here we go. I'm forced, this is another disaster draft phase. Turn, I'll just call it draft turn, yeah? Draft turn, 27. I'm forced to pick between a 1, a 2, and a 2-drop. And I picked the Buccaneer because it's such a good 1-drop. Having played a couple games of the Pit Snake, I'll pick Buccaneer above Pit Snake 90% of the time. I'll take 1 Pit Snake and the rest will be Buccaneers. Again, another really pretty poor pick fate. My turn 28 picking is just, what are you going to do? I'm not picking the Worgen, although there is merit to the Worgen. I just have so many 1-drops. Deadly Poison can actually be counted as a 3-drop. You can weapon up Deadly. So, again, I would pick the Deadly here. But I do feel that we've already identified where I've gone wrong in this draft. I followed the Pit Snake Dream. The Pit Snake dragged me into the pit, and I got owned by the Pit Snake Dream. And the final click is fine. Darkline Skulker is good. In general, it's pretty good. Second Argent Commander is also worth considering. Better against single targets. Darkline Skulker is actually, but it's just excellent value given that I have no backstabs in this deck. And yeah, man, look at that. Look at that 1-drop. Look at that 1-drop curve. Look at that 1-drop curve. Oi, 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 oi. Anyway, I hope you guys were okay with me talking like that. I think that's going to be my MO, my modus operandi, when the games don't go super well. If there's some time left over, I will do a draft review. And I think I'll tend to do draft reviews of arena runs that disappoint, that are obviously flawed or were disappointing. Now, I'm not going to rule out doing a draft review of gameplay, like me versus a certain class or a certain game, but I'll play it by ear, see how things go. But definitely this first run, I definitely followed the Pit Snake into the pit. And thereby we got a 2-3 instead of something better. And I definitely think that if I had been able to trade out, at the end there, I had maybe 5-6 1-drops, cut it down to 4 1-drops, and 1 or 2 of those are either card draw or mid game, and we would have been fine. We would have been looking to about 5 or 6 wins. But again, it's easy to speculate. Better to actually just play more games and to learn from this mistake. So yeah, like I said, thanks. Oh yeah. So let's wrap things up there. Thanks in advance, guys, for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I do this for love, and any gestures of appreciation are much appreciated. And I hope you guys have a lovely day and a lovely start to the new year. These videos will be going up, and I apologize in advance, actually. It's going to say December 2015, but these videos, I'm planning to upload them in January. I've got some things going on in January. I've got some family things, just really busy schedule. I'm not going to be able to do any on-the-spot recording in January, so hopefully you guys are okay with these videos. I'm going to try and put as many of them together as I can, so that there's content every day on the NoDust channel. Anyway, please leave me your feedback. It was good. I was happy to do this arena run, even though we didn't do so great. I was happy to get back into the groove of things, and looking forward to doing a couple of more videos before my busy January starts. And we can apply some of the learning. Or maybe not. Maybe we just do more learning from failure. We'll see how we go. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This is NoDust, signing off.